It's time for the prize drawing, so would everyone please turn around? Invite the people from outside to come in. So we're stirring up the pot here. The pot is getting stirred more and more. Do they have to be seated to win the prize?
Yes. Paulo, University Federal de Carlos.
Paulo. Yay! He's still outside. No, he's here. Good. He's in the back talking. Actually, he's from Brazil. So you've just become international.
He speaks Portuguese.
Yes.
So who is next? Chuck? No. Jennifer. Okay.
Paulo?
No, I will stay here. I forgot.
We need to have a photo moment with you because you just won a prize. I'm looking back there. Maybe not. Maybe he's outside now. Okay, he's not here. Do we want to draw another one?
No. I think if he's won a child, I'd like to be taken photograph of it, so I can prove that I have actually got the winner. Yes. Do we think he's still there?
He is still here, but he's outside. Outside talking.
Okay, then
Hi, Jennifer. Can you hear me?
see if I can get someone to take a photograph of it. Thank you.
There she is.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Jennifer. Everything okay?
Yes, perfect.
Great. We can't see you on the screen yet, so give us a minute or two.
Okay, no worries.
So here's the problem. Maybe you can share your screen to us with your presentation, because it's difficult to manage over your presentation here. So there is
Got it.
an icon over there to show your screen on your left.
Okay, let me just open up my PowerPoint. Hi, Carl. Good, how are you?
Everyone will see you.
Okay, did you see that?
Cool. Yes. So, Bunny,
Yes.
presenter.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to see Jennifer again. Can you see me, Jennifer?
No, I can only see my presentation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can see you now, yeah.
Okay, now let me see. I can't see you. Whoops.
Let's see.
We want to see pop.
Okay.
Yeah, pop the
Jennifer,
window up.
you can go out on the screen share. You can go out on the screen share and back again after the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
At any rate, please do come in and sit down. We need to have a warm welcome for Jennifer Pirazzo, who has been working with Colorado Pennypacker, teaching middle school students, I believe, science and mathematics after school. And this project is called ASELMI. So let's give Jennifer a welcome. And Jennifer, go ahead. We can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, and thank you for having me, and hello to everybody over there. I'm sorry I couldn't attend. I am in the middle of teaching, and we'll have to make this very brief because I'm supposed to be teaching in about 10 minutes. So we're based in the San Francisco Bay Area. Carl and I have been working this last school year with some middle school students in Hayward. Hayward is a very urban area, and the program was funded by something called ELAC. ELAC is for English Language Acquisition. So these are families that are maybe just fresh across the border from Mexico. So all of our students were Hispanic. So you see, ASAMI, it stands for After School Science and Math Integration. So we used astronomy as our theme and really had the kids working science and math hand in hand. Here in the United States, and I don't know in other places of the world, but science and math are taught in separate classes, separate rooms, and so the children really don't see a connection between science and math. So this whole program was to show them that you really can't have one without the other. So you can see in the pictures here, these are the students working both inside of a computer lab, which wasn't the best choice, but and they're building things with their hands. We're out in the hallways, and they're just having a lot of fun.
Jennifer, click on the next slide.
Can you see it now?
We still see your opening slide.
Oh no, I'm on my third one.
Okay.
Let's,
Okay, we see that one, so that's number 3. Now we see just the moon.
how about that?
Good. If that's your slide. Hangouts, no, that's our hangout. What are you showing on your screen? Is that your icon? Woot woot, okay. Go ahead.
Jennifer, you cannot go to the full screen mode.
Okay, go to, how about that?
Nope.
Okay, let me look, hang on.
Well, don't worry. I have your presentation here,
Okay,
so I can show, and you can back to your pretty face. Yeah. Oh, you are again.
Okay, I'm on slide 2 of 7, and now I'm switching to slide 3.
perfect.
Okay, we see slide 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and move to slide 4, if that's all right.
Well, let me talk about slide 3 really quick.
Okay. Slide 3.
So as we started doing the program, like I said, we were focusing on astronomy, but we noticed that with these children, they had a hard time sitting still at the computers. So really we've made a big switch from just teaching science and math to integrating technology and engineering. And there's a big push for STEM education right now in the United States. So we kind of started bringing that into the classroom, and it seemed, or into the after-school program, and it seemed to work a lot better because we have a lot of students who are active, and for them, building and creating something with their hands was very rewarding, which then led them into having a more interest in the technology portion. So you see in these few pictures here, we were making bridges to see how many pennies could be held on the bridge. We made rockets. I don't know if you can see it in the top photo. It's up in the sky there. And really the kids enjoyed that. And we had a lot of good feedback from the teachers at that school because they'd never seen the kids so engaged in any kind of curriculum before. So we continued with the STEM education stuff. Okay, I'm on slide 4.
Okay.
So along with STEM and science and math in this program, we also use some modeling techniques. There is a organization called the American Modeling Teachers Association. I've taken some training from them, and they really have a nice pedagogically sequenced lessons and curriculum. And the idea is to allow the kids to really form solid scientific concepts based on this process. So the process is having them make their own individual predictions, then getting together with a group and coming up with a group prediction and writing it on a whiteboard. And then you go to these board meetings where you share your whiteboards with the rest of the class. And during this sharing process, kids are able to refine and to adjust their original predictions to something that makes more scientific sense. So in this picture here, you see the two girls presenting their whiteboards with a couple of whiteboards behind them. And these whiteboards are really simple material. They sell it in hardware stores here. It's a shower board that you just cut up into 2 foot by 2 foot, or what would that be in centimeters? Carl?
Carl, answer the question.
That? Well, maybe like not quite a meter by a meter. So they presented these things on their whiteboards. They went out, they built catapults and rockets and all kinds of things. They collected data from their testing and experiments, and then came back to their original whiteboard and again adjusted it and changed any of their previous thoughts again into more scientific sense. And then again we had, presentation of the board meetings.
Okay, Jennifer, you have about 5 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. I'm on slide 5.
I'm going to change the slide. Yes.
Thank you.
Changed.
Okay, so the engineering part was the building of the rockets and Play-Doh and whatnot. The science part was experimenting and testing. Math actually was included in there. We made lots of graphs and things. And then technology, the technology piece was Salsa J. So all of the things, all of the activities that we did, we then tried to incorporate Salsa J. So you see on there, we did an activity with Google Maps, and they used Google Maps, and they had a map of their school, and we walked it outside, and then we went to the maps, and they were able to use Salsa J and the little map legend at the bottom to measure it in pixels and then convert that to meters or miles or whatever. We also made Play-Doh, flour and salt and water, and measured the diameter of our Play-Doh balls that we had created, a Jupiter, a sun, and an Earth. You see we measured the length of the catapult toss in Salsa J, the height of the rockets, and then we did some sun and sunspot and crater stuff. Okay, I'm on slide 6.
Yes.
So all the activities that we did are mentioned here. I'm not going to read through them all, but if anybody's interested in the more formal teacher manual, I have all of the activities available electronically, and I can send them to you or send them to a site or whatever, and anyone is welcome to look through them. And then in the picture here, you see that whiteboard again. And she's collecting data during, I think it was during our rocket launching. Okay, so now I'm on the last slide.
Yes.
So Carl would probably be able to talk to you better about the numbers of success that we had at the program. I just know that we had lots of good teacher feedback. In fact, this weekend I'm going to train one of the teachers at the school there to teach more Asami stuff in her own classroom at that school because, again, she never had seen the kids so engaged and just loving science and math. And so she was just very overwhelmed. The other successful part was we had lots of challenging students that, you know, I think a couple of our students had been suspended from school several times that year. So, you know, lots of challenges, and these students still remained in the program, I hope, because they enjoyed it and they really felt like they were successful at, you know, science and math and some harder subjects that kids don't really relate to as much here. So that's all I have. Carl, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Do you want to come up, Carl?
As I said in my opening, or maybe I should talk here, so
Yes.
can you hear me, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah, as I said in my opening talk, we did see, you know, almost unbelievable gains in students' understanding. Well, we're going to try to repeat that. They may not be as big as that, but still, they were understanding a lot more ratios, linear equations, proportions. I mean, actually, it was really discouraging how little they knew coming in. So getting a big gain in some ways is not that hard, but still, we did it. You know, teachers here will know this, but I thought Jennifer did a fantastic job of you know, letting the kids explore at their own pace. And you know, one of our colleagues in the system was much more, I think, a more old-fashioned teacher, and even working in groups, kids had to be very quiet and orderly and, you know, rigid. And Jen, I think, had this gift. Well, you know, let them talk a lot, even if it's not on topic. You know, guide them a little. You know, kind of nudge, but not strangle. And I think I think this program probably largely succeeded because of her skill. Being in this kind of penumbral zone of letting the kids, you know, really have their own control, but keeping them within a kind of a guided inquiry sphere. I think that, and I think so. It's this kind of work is an art as much as a science, but I think, you know, we're observing that, and I hope we can spread it to people. This model, by the way, this modeling pedagogy system Jen mentioned, we've tried to share with other global HOU teachers. It's so remarkable. The students work in small groups, then share their data, then go back, then make measurements, then go back, and it makes the kids do such deeper thinking than in a normal class. So that's.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
No, good.
Anyway.
Okay, so questions for either Jen or Carl. We have time for 2 questions, I think. Okay, so you wowed everybody. I want to thank you, Jen. It's nice to finally see what you look like. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to click the escape button here. And now I'm going to ask that, Jose, we have our next 2 speakers who are people that I thoroughly enjoy. They live about 2.5 hours north of me, I'm near Chicago. They're sort of on the border between Chicago and Wisconsin in a town called Racine, and it's a smaller, more rural town than the ones that you get into when you move closer to Chicago. However, I think they split their time between there and Tanzania. So we had a very, very good discussion when I met them at the Volos conference about what it's like to be in Tanzania and what kinds of preparations you need to make to help your body stay in shape while you're being there and not pick up something that you don't want to bring home with you. I see Chuck online.
Yes, he's
Yes.
online. Hello, Chuck. And Sue.
Hello, hello.
Hi, we're trying to switch to computer.
No, we're okay. Can you see us okay?
Yes, I can see you. This is Bonnie Thurber, and
Hi, Bonnie.
I just told the audience that you live north of me, sort of on the border between Illinois and Wisconsin in Racine. So here they are, Chuck and Sue.
Please. Thanks. It's good to be here, and we believe either Bonnie or Jose will run our PowerPoint for us in just a moment. Then we can do similar to you did with Jennifer. Are we centered okay on your screen in terms of seeing the two of us?
Chuck, if you can put a little bit lower your speakers because we have some feedback.
How's
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
good?
Your speaker, it's a little bit higher, louder.
Okay, hang on a moment. We can do that right. I'm trying to mute it. There we go.
Is that better?
Yes, yes,
Hear us now.
perfectly.
Good. And hopefully the feedback is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's okay.
Good. All right. And you're putting our program up, are you?
Yes, I'm pulling. Okay, done.
All right. Well, as you do that, as Bonnie introduced us, we're Chuck and Sue from Telescopes to Tanzania. For the past 4 years, since 2010, we've been working in northern Tanzania near Mount Kilimanjaro, the sister mountain, Mount Meru. And we work in that community. And now in the last year or so, we have worked with leaders in the community, educators, scientists, and community leaders to develop a Center for Science Education and Observatory. And I think that should be the slide you have up there now, Bonnie.
I just changed to your the first slide after your opening slide. Yes. So if you could just say
Oh.
next or next slide. So I'm
We will do that. Thank you.
All right. So what you are seeing is this community leaders who have come together and developed the NGO for a Center for Science Education. One of the key pieces for what we do is to working with these leaders to build a program for teaching science using astronomy. And they're wonderful, wonderful people.
Yes, and if you move to our next slide,
done.
the partners in doing that work in Tanzania include Umpanda Malazo and his colleagues from Universe Awareness for Young Children, Tanzania, and of course UNAWE is an international program, and then Sue and I from Telescopes to Tanzania, and we of course are a program of Astronomers Without Borders, and we believe our colleague Mike Simmons is there, and he, if you catch him at a lunch or somewhere along the line, you can always find out more about AWB, although I think he presented yesterday. So if you move to our next slide.
Okay.
One one of the most important things we do, and the thing that we feel the best about, is working with teachers and leaders to work with them to develop skills on hands-on, inquiry-based science education. And we use astronomy as the gateway for that. And what you're seeing here are two classes of teachers, one working in a brand new lab in one school, and then also with the donated telescopes, the first batch of donated telescopes that we have set. There have been over 50 telescopes in schools now, and we do not leave a telescope in a school without training teachers to use them and teach with them. The
Next slide.
Okay, Don?
You can see, because of the infrastructure in Tanzania, it's really necessary for the Center for Science to go to schools and communities and not expect busloads of students to show up at a central location. That's kind of the custom here, I think, in the U.S. and perhaps also in much of Europe. And so we use a lot of portable gear. Telescopes, the 5-inch one-sky reflector that AWB has provided for us and sells. We do lots of English Swahili print resources, do special events like the lunar and solar eclipses, and also star parties hosted by residential schools, local communities and villages, and that sort of thing. And that's really what these photographs are. Panda Malazzo teaching at one of the schools in Tanzania. Another educator doing a solar system exercise there on the upper right with some of the students. The lower left are some students in a small village who last year learned about the November 3 solar eclipse. They're using solar eclipse glasses just to view the sun at this point. And then a week later, on the day of the eclipse, those 15 or 20 hundreds of other students from their school and many adults from their village about how to view the eclipse safely and how the eclipse was really just a naturally occurring event in our solar system and not something unusual or disastrous or anything else. And there on the lower right, you see some students at one of the secondary schools doing some nighttime observing using one of the 5-inch one-sky telescopes. Next slide.
Yes.
One of the key points for us in the learning we've had that no teacher can add to the curriculum that they have assigned by the national government, that every class session has to be planned alongside their syllabus. So we have been working very hard with leaders and teachers to develop hands-on inquiry-based subject matter that will fit into the established curriculum. And that's been very important. So we've met with teachers and started building those kind of events and opportunities for students to do the curriculum, based on the curriculum, to learn some new ways to look at things.
Next slide.
Okay.
The center, as Sue mentioned earlier, we've disseminated a lot of hands-on science and astronomy teaching resources. We typically send in or take in hundreds and hundreds of pounds of resources each time we go, and I've made 6 trips in recent years, but we also send in materials with other colleagues from this area who are going in. So on the left, you can see the array of resources that were used at one of the workshops we did 2 years ago. And on the right, you're seeing some of the resources that are at the Center for Science office in Usa River, Tanzania. Donated to the center there by a local banker. And so these resources are kept there. And next week, another 100 pounds, or that would be probably 50, I'm trying to think, some 60 or 70 kilos of resources will be going into Tanzania with more resources for teachers. Next slide.
Okay.
We are excited about partnerships and people who we've worked with, and this is just one slide that shows, as we gathered this summer to start the beginning of the curriculum work, we met with Rosa and from Portugal on one day with the class and with all of us, and she did a great presentation on inquiry-based education and the importance of that, and offered to be a partner with the center and the folks that are working to help them connect anytime they want with scientists around the world, and now have the materials at the center to be able to do some Skype kind of conferencing like this. The second picture there is a picture being from Yerkes Observatory in Williams Bay, Wisconsin. As it was 9 o'clock in the morning in Tanzania, it was 1 o'clock in the morning at Yerkes, and these folks are learning and seeing some of the pictures of the stars that were being taken in Wisconsin and being shown in Tanzania. They were very impressed that day.
Next slide.
Okay.
The center will be an equatorial dark sky observing site. There's a 12-inch cave Cassegrain telescope that's being refurbished, and within, we hope, the next 6 months will make its way to Tanzania. And within the next year or so, a roll-off observatory will be built. You can see a picture in the upper right there of the cave. That's in a classical observatory. Ours will be a much simpler device. You can also see that the night sky viewing on the equator, the centers, the areas we work in are about 3 degrees south of the equator. So you get lots of wonderful night sky viewing. And I don't know what the lighting conditions are there, but there's a gorgeous picture of the Milky Way in the lower section there. But if there's a lot of light or projection in the room,
We are going to turn down the lights here so you can see this. I'm sorry, I think we're going to turn down the lights here if we can.
All right. Well, in any case, part of the business plan for the Center for Science is to do astrotourism, to from time to time organize some safaris with folks from Europe and the West, the U.S., to come into Tanzania and use both the 12-inch cave, but also some of the other scopes available to view the night sky, kind of a lions by day, if you will, and Leo by night experience for folks. So the skies are incredibly dark and always delightful to see. So hopefully that's showing up a little better. The next slide.
Okay, here it comes. Next slide, Dawn.
Okay. This is a picture of the ambassadors. These are the folks who have been trained and agreed to go out to other schools and share the curriculum materials that they have already developed this year and begin to start a new round of training teachers and headmasters and all kinds of folks to be part of the Center for Science. They're playing that day with a blow-up solar system, which became a wonderful adventure for us to see teachers starting to play. That's not common. And so they were learning to accept play as part of learning.
Next slide.
Okay.
The next steps, the way forward, because of our recent successful Indiegogo fundraising campaign.
Yes.
Where these goals of working with the science ambassadors, going out into schools and working in training, and the development of the roll-off observatory, all of those things are now possible because of that successful campaign. We're just so grateful that our Astronomers Without Borders colleagues, 3 staff people, dedicated a lot of time to making that campaign possible and helping to make it work. And of course, we're thankful to a global network of people who donated funds. So with the, it's 30+ thousand, by the time we pay fees, there'll probably be about 40,000 US dollars available for working with the ambassadors, doing some more workshops, and restoring the cave and getting that off to Tanzania and into an observatory. So, last slide. Again, we're pleased with UNAWE, Tanzania, with Mpanda Malazo, and of course Telescopes to Tanzania, and of course we are so grateful for our partnership and the support from astronomers.
Okay.
So, if there are any questions, that's the last one.
Any questions from the audience? I'm looking. All right, I'm going to thank you very much. Thank you very much for your wonderful project. Bye.
And thank all of our friends at GHOU. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Chuck. Thank you to having us here.
Okay, we're moving to our last and probably most important option for this afternoon. That is presentation of certificates to teachers who have done a wonderful job this year. Anna. Come right up. I think there are some teachers who have too many jobs.
Precisely. There is one important person missing. But I think that, so I would ask João Carlos Souza, Dr. João Carlos Souza, to come up here with me and Carl. So, with the support of the Minister of Education of Portugal and with the support of Carl Pennypacker and with the endorsement of the International Astronomical Union under as a legacy of IYA 2009, the International Year of Astronomy, the Galileo Teacher Training Program gives certificates to all the amazing teachers and students collaborating with us. So, we are running hundreds of workshops across the globe, and as a result of such workshops, a teacher participating in the workshop will receive a participation certificate. Many teachers here already have such certificate. If the teacher produces proof that they have implemented something they learned with us in school, these teachers become Galileo teachers. So they receive a certificate that they are now Galileo teachers. Teachers that are brave enough and train other teachers or help us organize teacher training events become Galileo ambassadors. And students working in projects with these teachers become Galileo students. And the schools that are supporting the teachers in this mission will now, for the first year, become Galileo schools. Anna, please come here with me. So I have some distinct personalities here. Anna is the person who is helping us coordinate the schools and the teachers and all the work related to teacher training in Portugal. João Carlos already presented the work, and we're finally, I have to say I'm so glad that you have the job that you have now. I think that we'll now further explore the possibilities of collaboration of the Galileo Teacher Training Program in Portugal and how we can support each other's difficult tasks in difficult times with amazing teachers and amazing schools. So through Galileo Teacher Training Program, we've been bringing Portuguese schools all over the world. Many teachers, many of you have traveled with us. And I think that we are setting a pace, we are setting a tone that should be spread all over the world. And we have with us, of course, the big privilege of having Carl Pennypacker, the visionary who had this idea, 20 years ago? Perhaps a little bit more, of starting Hands-on Universe, which is science in the hands of students. As you can imagine, this is still pioneered today. By then, it was like outbreaking. I don't know. It was incredible. So I will ask Anna to distribute the Galileo Teacher Certificate. Carl will distribute the Galileo Ambassadors. I will help you with the names. João Carlos will deliver the Galileo School Certificate, and I will have the privilege to deliver we only have one student here with us today, but it's such a big privilege to me to deliver a Galileo Student Certificate to Salvador Bruschi, the pioneer of asteroid search in Portugal. Salvador, please. So Salvador was the first discoverer of an asteroid here in Portugal. And although he didn't know that for quite some time, we thought it was somebody else. Congratulations, Salvador. He's now at the university, very infected by us, and doing a wonderful job. Congratulations, Salvador. I'm sorry I steal your privilege, but this privilege had to be mine. So, I will say the names. So,
Sandra Bernardo.
Now the amazing teachers who are here, there are many more, but since they are not here, they are receiving in another venue. Sandra Bernardo, congratulations. You know, don't leave the stage. Stay here for the beautiful picture. Salvador, come back. Exatamente.
Juan Olasco.
Juan came all the way from Azores to be here with us. Congratulations, Juan. Cristina Pinho. A new acquaintance, a very good one. Careful. Carl, you want to come deliver? Now, Carl is going to deliver the Galileo Ambassadors. So
I might add that I quickly scanned the names here and recognized all these teachers. I think these teachers makes me want to cry. Actually, I think they're among the finest in the world, and they break their hearts and work their rear ends off for Rosa. Kids of Portugal and children all over the world actually benefit by their work. So I'm getting all teary, Rosa.
it's your fault.
So these are, again, like our new teachers to come, you know, who will hopefully become ambassadors. These teachers are so fantastic, and I'm so fond of, and I think actually they're all, you know, if everybody could cry too, with that, that would be good. Anyway, Alvaro Folhas, please, Folhas. Okay, great. Jose Gonçalves, of course. Thank you. And Paula Furtado. Okay. And Leonor Cabral, of course. I've traveled around the world with Leonor, to China and who knows where else. Thank you, Leonor. Rita Giera?
Poor Rita has been so infected by us. She works like crazy now with us.
This is easy. Ana Costa. Thank you. And finally, Paula Furtado.
She's not here.
Okay.
Now you have.
Wait.
So this is not the name, neither the certificate. I don't have the certificate here, but we have the privilege to have here with us one of the, I wouldn't say oldest teachers working with us, because there are some that are working for longer than that, but someone who has been with us since 2004 at least, or 5, and came all the way from Poland and gave us the privilege to be here with us for 2 weeks. Marian Talar from Poland for his extremely wonderful work with students. And now we move to the final part, which is the Galileo schools.
Okay, now for the Galileo schools, it looks like the Oscars. We had somebody tramping at, like Jennifer Lawrence. This is, as Rosa mentioned a while ago, it is my great privilege as a teacher who attended some Galileo training. I'm really happy to be here at the first concretization, the first concrete action out of a protocol that was established between the Directorate of General Directorate of Education and Nucleo. And so we have here lots of schools who actually supported their teachers in developing projects. Escola Básica de Gem, it's not here. Escola Secundária Adolfo Portela. Escola Básica e Secundária de Santa Maria.
Eu seguro o certificado, que é para ter a mão livre.
É melhor que eu estou a mascar tudo. Escola Secundária da Cidadela. Okay, a Escola Secundária de Ponte Sor, que não está cá. Escola Básica João Pedro de Andrade, que também não está cá. Escola Profissional de Almada.
Também não está.
Não, está ali, colega.
Agrupamento de escolas também.
Agrupamento de Escolas Fontes Pereira de Melo. Escola Básica de Lenhas. Também não. Escola EB23 de Amarante. Escola Secundária Ferreira Dias, também creio que está cá. Escola Secundária Camilo Castelo Branco. Não está. E é tudo.
Okay.
Tá, obrigado.
So thank you for this, and this is being recorded and broadcasted live. I hope that other schools are watching this. If there's any school here that is missing, I apologize. It's probably totally my mistake. We will correct that. If there's any teacher that should be receiving the Galileo Teacher or Galileo Ambassador certificate, make sure you will receive. There are many students whose certificate is lying there in the table. You will receive your certificates. And I hope that next year, this room will be very small, with the Minister of Education help, to receive everyone getting their Galileo teachers, Galileo school, Galileo students, and ambassador certificate. Thank you all. Okay, the day is over. So now you have a little bit of time to relax before you go get the buses. Remember, the buses leave at 5:45. Don't be late.